Welcome to the Dr. Leadership Show, where we take a look at how you approach your work and personal life and how we can make the most out of both of them. A weekly get-together where we get real about self-improvement and development as we all make this not-so-easy journey through life. Our discussions will cover ideas and concepts from how to grow your career to how to lead your family towards prosperity and happiness. We don't pretend to know it all, and the doctor is the first to be vulnerable, discussing his own weaknesses, both past and present. This is about growing together and having some fun while we discuss what is happening in the crazy world we live in and how to make the most of it. Let's strive for awesome together. Let's get after it. Hey everybody, it's time for the Dr. Leadership Podcast. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome to another week. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I did. It was beautiful in the Midwest. Got down to the farmers market this last weekend. Huge farmers market. If you ever do visit Des Moines, Iowa, make sure you check out the farmers market. My wife and I were kind of going back and forth how many people we thought were there, and I thought a much bigger number than her, but somewhere 5,000-10,000 people, and it'll rotate through a couple times. It was great. Hundreds and hundreds of stands. It's just, it's quite a sight to see. A lot of communities have nice farmers markets, but this one is down walks right up to the courthouse and down to the river. Just absolutely beautiful. So check it out if you're ever in Des Moines. Hey, check out our website, www.drleadershipresults.com. It's a place you can go and kind of learn a little bit about the doctor, see why I'm doing this. There's some other services that we offer, but most importantly, you can check out our subscription site. Click on subscribe and join, and you get access at great interviews with some people that know a lot more about a lot of things in life than I do. This coming week, it's going to be released next Wednesday to the masses. Kim Addis, the founder and president of Frame of Mind Coaching, joined us for an hour interview. Great talk. Very smart person. Been involved in leadership coaching for 20 odd years. Entrepreneurial spirit. Young lady from Canada, just awesome conversation. She's going to come back. Actually, we're going to do some live interaction potentially down the road with questions, etc. Got another great one coming up too. Dr. Chris Fuzzi, who is a behavioral leadership coach, is joining us. 28 years in law enforcement out in California, was on hostage negotiations, gang units, all sorts of things. Going to join us as well. I've got that interview scheduled up for the coming weeks as well. And you can get access to all that early by joining the subscribe site at www.drleadershipresults.com. If you do listen to the Kim Addis interview next week when you're hearing this, and you have some questions or some things you'd like to ask her for me to reach back out, get this thing scheduled back up, please feel free to send an email to drleadershipresults@gmail.com. So great guests coming on. Lots of good guests out there from before. We're celebrating the 90th episode this week of the weekly event. Can't believe 90 episodes in. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content. I've certainly enjoyed giving it. Some episodes are better than others, just like Joe Rogan. Sometimes I flip into Joe and I go, not a great one. Then there's other times I go, wow, that was awesome. Hopefully you're getting more of the wow, that was awesome out of the doctor than not really liking that one. Remember last week, we talked about the psychological contract with our employees and how consistency really helps keep the psyche of our employees and the people that work with us every single day in the right frame of mind. Change can be good. Transformation is good. But if you're in a perpetual state of it, your employees lose trust. And as soon as you lose the trust of those around you, just like if you're an individual contributor, you lose the trust of the customer, game over. Same thing from a leadership standpoint. Don't change just because everybody says you got to change. Yeah, the market's moving. Things have happened since COVID. But go listen to that episode. Had really positive feedback because there's just a lot of people facing a lot of change out in the market. Today's episode, I want to take just a step back and have a little fun conversation. I'm calling this episode Words of Wisdom from a Billionaire. I was flipping through, saw a couple articles, had a couple things hit me, kind of resonated with me, and it was 8 simple ideas or concepts or quick-hitting statements from a 60-year-old billionaire, name is being withheld to protect the guilty, on just an attitude toward life that you ought to take. And I thought, wow, that'd be a good thing to share, right? We talk about financial well-being, being a leader in your family, driving towards financial freedom. Remember, money doesn't buy you happiness. allows you freedom to go find what makes you happy, to go engage with what makes you happy. So money doesn't buy it. Money gives you the freedom to pursue it, and then it's up to you. Well, how do you get to have a whole lot of money? What are some simple steps or some simple mindsets that you need to make sure you have? We talk about mindset, we talk about attitude, we talk about a lot of things on the show, and this just resonated with me again. It's a reminder taking you back. Going to cover this again because these are the important things. Life is not hard if you approach it the right way. Now, I shouldn't say it that straightforward. You can do your hard now or you can do your hard later, my wife often says. And hard now is making good decisions and making good long-term steps for your well-being, be it financial, be it your love life, your significant other, be it developing relationships with employees, becoming a leader. All these things take good steps now. So this billionaire that I'm reading up on had 8 comments, and they were kind of fast-hitting, right? So I thought, I'm going to go through these with you. And the first one I thought was really, really cool. It says, if you don't come from a rich family, then a rich family must come from you. Wow. So lots of people go through life not having enough accountability on themselves. They're always looking for someone else to provide the easy button to them. Life is not hard, but life is not easy. Maybe some of you out there have inherited a bunch of money. Maybe grandpa and grandma or mom and dad or won the lottery or whatever might be the case and have set you up not having to worry about a lot of things in life that many Americans are dealing with every day. I was listening to the news. We went down to the farmer's market. As I said, I was listening to the news on the way home, and somebody said it's actually a Democrat that is running for president, Maureen, that had been blackballed by CNN, blackballed by MSNBC because they don't want to cover anybody other than who they've tied their wagon to. But she said there are hundreds of thousands of people skipping meals so they can make their rent payment. Wow. That's a drastic statement. So this, if you don't come from a wealthy family, it's up to you, really resonated to me. I wrote down a couple notes here. What's your why? That's your why. My family is my why. My wife's well-being is my why. My wife's why is my well-being, and her father and stepmother, and my children, and our nephew, and aunts and uncles and parents. That's the why. You want health and you want prosperity, but if you don't come from money, then you got to make sure, from a billionaire's point of view, somebody that's lived it, walked the talk, that if no one else is going to give it to you, guess what? You got to go out and make it for yourself. A wealthy family must come from you. Do you have the internal drive? I think that's the first thing that really resonates with me whenever I hear about people that are fighting the doldrums or are not as successful as they'd like to be. Are they truly driven towards that? Are they walking the talk? Or are they simply just envious or jealous or I wish I could? See, anytime you start a mental statement in your own mind with, I wish I could be like that, or I wish I had that, or I wish I didn't have to face this, your own beliefs can change that. Your own internal drive, your own internal perspectives, your own internal goal setting, your own internal thrust towards these objectives and goals can change all those situations. The billionaire says if you don't come from a rich family, then a rich family must come from you. Like Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can ensure that you're going to be successful. It's up to you. It's up to each of us as individuals. We don't want a society where we guarantee equal outcomes. We do want a society where we guarantee equal opportunities. Everyone in this country has the opportunity to be as successful or unsuccessful as they choose. We make choices and choices make us. It's all about making the appropriate choices as you go through these stages of life, especially younger. Don't try to fit in. Don't try to go and be fear of missing out, FOMO. Don't try to go out to dinner all the time. Don't try to have the new car. Don't get a new iPhone every model that comes out. Anybody that's dropping $1,400 for a cell phone is an idiot. Capital T at the end. Who needs a $1,500 phone? What you do need is a $399 phone and $1,100 put in your mutual fund. That's the way to approach these things in life. Self-accountability, chase things because of your why, make that internal drive strong, and man, good things are going to happen for you. Good things are going to happen for you. The next thing this billionaire brought up I thought was rather interesting, and it might come from a position of he didn't have a lot of good opportunities here, but it says, forget about the girls and boys. Find a woman or a man to share the ride with. This one really resonated with me. My wife and I are in lockstep on key things in our life. Our belief system, and that, the big guy upstairs is our Savior. That's a big, important one for us. The other thing is from a financial standpoint and how we approach saving and how we approached we use a statement a lot of times. We're very fortunate. She makes a very, very good living. I make a very, very good living. When you put them together, we have an extraordinary opportunity in our life. Years and years of hard work to get to where we were. Neither one given a thing. Back to point one, I wasn't given all the money. I'm creating all the money with my wife. But financially, you got to be in tune with this person. The other thing is it's a lot easier to fight demons in this world when you got a partner. When you got somebody that really buys in to the program. When you have someone that has your back first and foremost. We're watching this show called Suits right now. I know we're behind the times. We're on season 6 now. We're slowly catching up. We're in the year 2019 on the schedule of the show. And there's times where the show really, really bothers me because of the ruthlessness of the lawyers and the backroom deals and the line and those types of things. But the one thing that resonates with my wife and I when we watch this, it almost comes up in our conversation about the episode we're in every night. Loyalty. These people in the story Suits are so loyal to each other in the end. There's times where they spread apart a little bit and they go different directions a little bit. But man, when it comes down to it, their family as they see it, these work partners, they're all single and they have love situations come in and out. But the 5 or 6 main characters are friggin' go to the mattresses loyal. That's what you need in your life. That's what this billionaire says. I agree 110% with that. My wife is my partner. Somebody come at me, they got to get through my wife first. Somebody come at my wife, well, they will be dead. No problem going back to jail, Skippy. I will absolutely take you out. As my dad used to say, avoid fighting at all costs, but if you do get one, man, there are no rules, man. Bite, kick, scream, hit him in the head with a brick, win the fight. If you got to get in one, make sure there's only one story to be told at the end. So the billionaire says, forget about chasing girls or chasing boys and being a womanizer or a cougar-esque or whatever you want to say here. Find yourself the one, somebody to go through the ride. It's loyalty. It's words like partner, common goals, motivation. Love is by far the strongest emotion out there. Fear, somewhat close, especially situationally. My wife would run from me if there was an alligator. I just know that because we can't retire in Florida. I have been told hurricanes and alligators, 2 strikes in this game, both of them out. That's the only time. If there was an alligator, she would throw me at the alligator to get away. But anything else in life, she would go toe to toe because that love emotion is very, very strong. And I'm a hell of a catch. Just ask me. The third thing this billionaire talked about was, I've talked about this before, and it's a mindset about exterior noise. Exterior noise in this world comes from all over the place. I said earlier, envy and jealousy. This is where this statement shows up. The billionaire says this: you will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you, only those doing less than you. Right? Only ones doing less throw stones. These are the people that are victims. These are the people I was talking about at first, where you got to create the wealth. These are the people that look over and go, she's just successful because of this, or he's just successful because of that, or I can't believe he always raises his hands in meetings and gives his opinion. Hey, that's called engagement, man. That's called going for it. That's called leaning in. Remember this in life, and this is anything in life. Social media shows these true colors all the time. You'll have someone post something, a beautiful picture. So I'll give you an example. So I'm going to draw a blank on his name now. McCaffrey, the running back for the San Francisco 49ers, got married to Olivia Culpa. And she wore a very covering wedding dress, long sleeves, up to the neck, very beautiful. And she said, I wanted to make sure that I respected that day as much as I love my husband. Personal choice. She posted pictures. This influencer, make me sick every time. This influencer comes out, and so there's an influencer evidently about critiquing other brides' wedding attire. Well, I can tell you a couple things without looking into this influencer. She probably is not married. I'm just guessing. Talk about high maintenance. Talk about biatch. I mean, this is crazy. She went after McCaffrey's wife, Miss Culpa, former Miss, I think she was Miss America. I know she was Miss something. Absolutely gorgeous woman. She went after her because, well, you post online in swimsuits and stuff. This just doesn't even match your character. Why you aren't showing your body and all this type. That is envy and jealousy. What a terrible thing. It's her wedding day. Now, McCaffrey came at this person online, and then so did Olivia, because they had to defend themselves. Don't be a person that doesn't cheer for others. Don't be a person that your envy and your jealousy show to others. First of all, don't be envious and don't be jealous. Be happy for others. Your time to score points in life is coming. But give high fives to other people. You'll never be criticized by those doing more than you. The reason is they're focused to accomplishments. They aren't focused to some fear of someone else getting a little bit of limelight. This world is all about me instead of we these days, and we've got to flip the script on that. When you see someone on the streets, compliment them. When you run into friends, ask them about their kids. Don't only talk about your kids. When you're talking to a family member that's going not as well as you, make sure that you praise them for the things they are doing well. You've always been so smart. You've always been so nice. Gosh, you look so healthy right now, so fit. I'm really, really proud of what you're doing with that exercise regimen. Just any compliment to anybody. I use a statement all the time, and I mean it. The reason I use it all the time is it's very natural to me. I say, I appreciate you. Every time I end a conversation with one of my employees, somebody on my team, I always am saying, man, you're doing just such a great job. I really appreciate you. And I do. If you show colors like that in life, I promise you karma is going to be on your side. Don't be a victim. Be a victor. Stand stoically. Another statement coming up is going to tie into this one very, very much. Envy is ugly. Remember that. People project their own dissatisfaction. They don't like to talk about themselves in reality because they're ugly in some way. I'm not talking physical appearance here. I'm saying they have some sort of issue. So what they start to do is their depression and their dissatisfaction with their own situation in life, they start to project negativity towards others. Don't do that. It's just a nastiness, man. Start being nice to others. The fourth thing the billionaire says, a winner is just a loser who tried one more time. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's that you get up. I told the story about my diving accident. I was a springboard diver, hit my head, got taken to the hospital. Next time I was on the board in the pool, I see my dad sitting there. He says, I want to see you throw the dive, because if you don't, get off the team, man. Try one more time. I tried. It was not pretty. Never threw the dive again after that, but I tried. Now, there's been times in my life where I've felt defeated. There's been times when I didn't think I was going to be, across the finish line successful enough to retire. I thought I was going to work forever. Remember, I went through the housing crisis in 2008. I've told this story before, started building homes as a side project, $1 million properties, and all of a sudden the whole friggin' market blows up. And I got properties sitting there that I've got $750,000, $800,000 in a piece, and I'm floating $15,000, $20,000 a month out of the bank account, go through a divorce, life is ugly. All of a sudden I'm sitting in an apartment instead of my 5,000 square foot home in the wooded lot with the pool and the Hummer and the Corvette. Was doing a lot of things wrong back then. And I realized that, wow, I better get my SHIT together to make this thing happen again. I've built wealth twice in my life. But the key was not that I'm great. I'm not saying it that way. I'm just saying that all of us need to understand that you will face hiccups and hardships. And how you respond to those is a determining factor on your end result. If your desired outcome state is to be financially successful, then are you making the steps to be financially successful? If something doesn't go your way, if you have a sudden expense show up and you don't get to put the money away in savings this month, do you get back into the savings mode the next month? Get back on your path. Get back on your plan. These are some words that came to my mind when I was thinking about this. A winner is just a loser who tried one more time, right? Grit, Gestalt, great German word, look it up. Drive, self-belief, tenacity, and one more time, victor attitude. Do you know how many times Michael Jordan missed a three-pointer compared to made a three-pointer? He was a little over 40% three-point for his career. That means that 57, 56, 55% of the time he missed. He didn't quit shooting. Baseball players get into the Hall of Fame with a 300 average, lifetime average. That means 7 out of 10 times they're striking out or they're friggin' hitting into a double play, whatever might be the case. So see, your mindset has to be positioned correctly to drive through these anxious times, these times where you start to lose belief. You got to get back on the horse. This billionaire's smart. Whoever he is, 60-year-old, keeping it quiet. The fifth thing he says, people get really upset when you don't let them use you. Wow. Choose your circle wisely. Narcissistic people are great users, only when it benefits them. Do you have friendships because there's benefit coming your way, or do you have friendships because you want to be a benefit to others? You want to bring a ray of sunshine into their life. You want to be a partner with them and help them. And you want to have, look at your neighbors. Do you engage with your neighbors to help them when there's nothing in return? When you're at the grocery store and you see this is big for me, an old trying to be as gentlemanly as possible. I see a woman pushing a cart and she's done. Would you like me to put your cart away for you? I'm not trying to say that she can't. I'm just trying to show that chivalry isn't dead. People get really upset when you don't let them use you. When you are a giver, instead of trying to take things from people or allow people to use you, you're going to be in a happier state. Choose that circle wisely. Also, search for commonality. So find people that have similar beliefs, and it takes a while to ferret out what people's true beliefs are. There's a lot of religious people on Sunday. Are there people that are leading that life on Tuesday? Or are they people that just show up in their fancy jacket and their nice pants, drop a couple of shillings into the passing plate on Sunday, and think they've checked the box? The other thing that I think is really important, this goes back to Warren Buffett said this: don't choose people that are less than you so you can feel good about where you are. Don't choose the people that, like if you're a really top-notch salesperson, top-notch salespeople don't choose crappy salespeople to hang around with, because that mediocrity drives them crazy. The reason they're the awesome salesperson isn't the territory. Might be a little bit of it at the beginning, but the woman makes the territory. The man makes the territory. Choose to hang around with people that are better than you, because then what happens is you're learning. You're seeing how to do things better. You're seeing how to attack problems differently. Put the best around you. Who wants to hang with the lackadaisical and the not so strongs? You want to hang with the people that are players, man. Do that in all things in life. Choose wisely. The other thing, this goes back to the social media thing I was talking about here. Never post your achievements. Post jokes, post pretty pictures, post fun stuff. Have some humility. Post that stuff. Don't post your achievements, post the other stuff so people around you think you don't have a future. Be a silent killer. Let others think, well, he's no big deal. He just posts stupid stuff online. He didn't post his vacation. He didn't post going to Fleming's and got the steak and 2 sides and a 15-year-old scotch for a drink and has to call it out on the post. Drinking my McClellan 15. Come on, man. Don't be that way. Don't focus on your accomplishments. Focus on your goals. Accomplishments are things that have already happened. Life is all about what's next, what's over the horizon. What are you going to take on or take down next? There's an old saying in sales, hero to zero. It's a new fiscal year. Glad you had a record year, Jimmy. Glad you're 150% of plan. Today, you're 0% of plan. I appreciate last year very much. Do we still need to talk about it? Because, that's your job. It's like the quarterbacks. They don't come out and say, man, I'll tell you what, 3 weeks ago, 4 touchdown passes. Yeah, you threw 5 interceptions last Sunday, Jimmy. Well, but 2 weeks before that, I threw touchdowns. Yeah, but last week you sucked. Hero to zero. I don't mean to be that harsh about it, but you better have some humility in your life. And also, there's an old saying in the Bible, don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. In other words, you don't need to give to be recognized for giving. Help others without being recognized. My wife and I do a lot of giving. A lot of it we do anonymously. Certain things we don't because of an association. Like we have what's called the Taylor House here in town. It's a hospice that my dad and my uncles, one uncle specifically, donated a lot of money to build out. The family's always been engaged in it. It's very important to me. And our name is on the building. The family name is. So I do show that I have stayed engaged in that. And do show our giving there because I want people in the community to know that the family is very dedicated to helping any way we can. But there's other people that all they talk about is their family does this and their family does that and their family does it. It's the only thing they talk about. It's because of deep down inside insecurities about themselves. If people are posting achievements or posting on Facebook or Instascam, it's probably not true in the beginning anyway. But that's all about deep down insecurities. When people have to talk about how much money they have or the new thing they bought or the house in the Hamptons or the lake place or we're building a new house, if that is what they lead with, that's a very insecure person. The billionaire says, don't do that. Dr. Leadership agrees. The 7th thing the billionaire said, never be lazy. It is disrespectful of those who believe in you. So, football analogy. Hall of Famers never take a down off. What that means is every play is like the goal line stand, man, if you're on defense. Every play is we're down by 4 and we're on the 30-yard line. We need a touchdown. That's the way you go through life. You can't take a down off. Now, I'm not saying don't vacation. I'm not saying don't recharge on the weekends. But when I'm saying the game's being played, man, nose down, grit, Gestalt, German word, look it up. You got to be on all the time if you want to achieve the greatest of greats, the highest of highs. This is so true in anything in life. If you want to be a great father, you got to be engaged. You got to be present. If you want to be a great spouse, you got to be engaged. You got to be present. You got to have good listening skills. You got to be able to give more than you take. Barbara Bush, senior Bush president's wife, said marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is 100-0 at times. Sometimes it's all about the others. Don't be lazy. It is disrespectful of those who believe in you. Success has no days off. Success is not owned, but rented, and rent is due every day. The final thought of the billionaire? I love this one. 6 months of focus and dedication will change your life. Pick the topic. If you want to be a marathon runner, for 6 months, go run. Work out. If you want to lose weight for 6 months, concentrate on some exercise and work on changing your diet, just a little bit a day. You don't have to swim the ocean the first time. You can swim the length of a pool. If you want to take up being a swimmer, competitive swimmer, or what's the word I'm looking for when you go out, Ironman type work. It starts with a swim, it then moves to a bike, and then it moves to a run. Well, you don't start all that the first day. If you want to be a great three-point shooter in basketball, start at the free throw line. Get your stroke figured out. If you want to be a good golfer, concentrate on chipping and putting. Don't stand on the driving range and bomb drivers all day. You've got to be focused to the right things for the right length of time. Nothing happens overnight in anything in life. Nothing happens overnight. So the billionaire's got it figured out. The billionaire's got it figured out. Take these lessons, take these conversation pieces and absorb them. And then make sure you make little adjustments every single day. Because the ultimate goal of all of you is to be awesome. Once you attain it, keep that shit up. Talk next week.